All right, it's time for Illustrator number 6, and this is going to be about, I'm going to use period 2 to show you something here real quick. So here for a little while, this week we've been working on things that, I'm just trying to train you on some things in Illustrator, like making shapes was on Tuesday, and gradients was on Wednesday, and patterns was on Thursday of this week, and now today we're going to do this thing about effects. That's the assignment. Now you don't see it posted here yet because at the time that I'm recording this movie, it's not posted, but by the time you're watching this movie, it will be posted, so yeah, whatever. These are all just little, I'm training you. I'm trying to show you how to do stuff in Adobe Illustrator. It's like I did in Photoshop. And we have a project coming up where all of this stuff, making shapes, using gradients, using patterns, this effect thing I'm going to show you today, and some things we're going to get into next week, I think they're going to be useful. So when this all gets posted up, there will be a help page posted on Google Classroom, and it'll look like this. You're going to have to create 15 shapes of any kind. They could all be the same, or you could make 15 different shapes if you want to. I'll show you a fast way here in just a minute. And then these effects are what we're going to be doing. There are going to be 15 different effects that I want you to do. And in this demo, I'm not going to demonstrate every one of them. There's going to be a fast forward coming up here. But notice that these are all, like, they're in different categories. Like all of these are in this distort and transform category. Okay. And then there's a couple that are in the stylize category. And then there's several here that are in the warp category. And I'm gonna give you enough to go on here in this movie. I'm not going to do all 15 of them. I don't think you need to watch me do all 15 of them. So let's hop over here to Illustrator. There's also going to be an artboard posted on Google Classroom. It's going to look like this. And that list of effects is right here. It's on the side. And the reason for that is to keep you on track. I don't expect you to try and remember. And, you don't even have to I got to switch back and forth between the help page and Adobe Illustrator. Well, you could do that, but you don't have to, right? If you'll download this artboard, some of you even don't do that. But if you'll download this artboard from Classroom, it's got the list. Everything you're supposed to do is right here on the left of the artboard, and it'll keep you on track, right? Okay, so so you'll have to download this from Classroom and open it. I've already got it open. Now, when you get done, here's one that's already done. It doesn't look like much, right? This is not what I would call a beautiful thing here, but it works. It's okay for what we're doing. All right, now 15 shapes, right? You're going to need 15 different shapes because there are 15 of these effects. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to use you could use any shape you want. It doesn't matter. And you will get the results will be different according to what shape you use. If you use a rectangle, these effects do kind of one thing, but if you use a star, it's going to look different. And you use an ellipse, it's going to look different. So you could mix it up if you want to, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come out here and just draw like a kind of a perfect circle like that. I'm going to take my black arrow tool. I'm going to hold the Alt key and drag it. There's 3, 4. I'm just holding the Alt key and I'm dragging the shape so it makes duplicates. So I have 5 of them. Now I'm going to select all of those with the black arrow tool. Right? I'm just using the black arrow, click out here and like an empty spot and like marquee around them. Just click and drag and get them all. I'm going to hold the Alt key and drag those. Right, and I'll do that one more time. I'm going to press the Alt key and drag those. And that, folks, is a fast way to make 15 shapes, and I'm ready to rock and roll. All right, you don't have to do it that way if you don't want. You're going to find today that color is really up to you. You could even just leave these black and white if that's what you would prefer. But if you would rather give them some color, then feel free to do that. That's totally okay as well. All right, so here's how it all works. Let's get to work here. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. Like on all of these, like this first one says effect, distort and transform, pucker and bloat. Well, here's what that means. All of them start right up here on the effect menu at the top. That's what effect right here. That's what it means. Go to the effect menu. Now, what's the next part of that little path? Distort and transform. Okay, effect, distort and transform is right there. And then what we're doing on this first one is pucker and bloat. Now, here's I wanted to show you how this navigation works, but here's what you got to do. You got to select the shape. Okay. If you don't select the shape and then you go to the effect menu, it's not going to do anything. You have to select the shape first. So I'm going to select the shape. I'm going to go to effect, distort and transform, pucker and bloat. Now, all of the effects, well, most of them, will have some kind of little panel that you can do something with. So like on this one, on pucker and bloat, I could take this little dot and push it over here toward pucker, and you can see what's happening to that circle. Right? It's not really a circle anymore. And I could also, I could take it all the way over here and it gets pretty extreme. Look at that. Or I could take this and push it over this way toward bloat, and you see what it's doing there. Okay. So, and it could be just a little, or it could be a lot. And it's up to you. This is a when you're happy and you know it, click OK kind of thing, right? So maybe I'll just kind of make that sort of a diamond-like thing, but it's got those little curved edges because I just applied a little bit of pucker to it, and I kind of like it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Boom. That one's done. Now you could do this. You don't have to do this, but you could do this. When you get done working on, one of these things, what did I just do? Well, I just did pucker and bloat. I just did this one right here. So I could click on that and touch delete on the keyboard and say, okay, that one's done. You could delete these text items over here as you work your way through if you want to. You don't have to, but that would keep you on track, wouldn't it? Okay, I did that one, so I delete it. I did the next one, so I delete it. It would keep you on track. All right, so let's go on. And again, if you want to come along here and give that some kind of fill color or whatever, then I don't really care about color today. What I care about today is do all of these. All right, so I'm going to go to the next shape. Is distort and transform and then roughen. All right, so effect, distort and transform, and here's roughen right here. Boom. Okay, so this one you have options for size and detail, and you can go smooth or corner and absolute and relative, and you can change any of this that you want. And what I've said it so many times you're sick of it. What you got to do in this class is you got to get in there and experiment and play and see what you can do. So you see what I'm doing to that circle by playing with these options, and you see what it's going to look like, and when you're happy and you know it, you click OK and bingo. All right, and if you want to come over here, you're going to click it and give it some kind of color, then feel free to do that. There we go. That's a roughen. So I could take this text item over here if I want to and delete that. All right. Well, so you're getting the idea, and you don't even have to do them in order if you don't want to, but if I click the next one, it would be a twist. So I go to effect, got it, distort and transform, and twist. Boom. And this one works with angles, so I'd bump up the angle, or I could type something in there. Maybe I'll go like 270. Oh, well, that makes sense. When you twist a perfect circle, what do you get? Perfect circle. So I'm just going to, in this, does that make sense? If you twist a perfect circle, you get a perfect circle. So I'm just going to take this one right here and just stretch it out a little bit. And then I'll go to effect and distort and transform, and I'll do a twist. And we'll put in that 270 for the angle. I got 271. Okay, why not? And it does that. It twists it, right? And I'll click OK. Bingo. And like I said, if you want to change color, feel free to change color. Color is up to you today. Okay, I'm going to drop on down here to some others. You have to do them all, right? For the assignment, on the assignment, you have to do all of them. But I'm going to skip some because you don't need to watch me, and especially on when I get down here to warp. I'm not going to do all those. Let's go to stylize here. I've still got a zigzag thing that I didn't do yet, but I'm not going to show you that one. You can do it. All right. So I'll click on another shape. Just pick a shape. And I'm going to effect and stylize. Now be careful. There's two stylizes. There's one down here at the bottom, and it says glowing it. And sometimes people look at this and they say, well, I can't find drop shadow. Drop shadow's not on there. Well, it's on this one up here. All right, stylize, drop shadow. You can already see it. Look. There's a shadow. And you could change all of these things if you want to. Multiply, or the blend mode, and the opacity, and the offset, and the blur, and the color. You could change all of that, but I'll just go ahead and click OK. And if you want, you can add a color and Bingo, that one's done. All right. Outer glows, I am going to do this one, stylize and outer glow. I just want to show you that the outer glows are not terribly dramatic in this program. I'm going to change the blend mode to normal, and I might make it like a red color. That's a pretty Photoshop thing. Turn up the opacity a little bit, and if you turn up the blur some, it'll get a little bit. Now you can see it, right? So I did play some with the mode and the opacity and the blur to make it look like that, but you can give it a glow. It's not terribly dramatic, but anyway, there it is. Click OK, boom. All right, so I just did an outer glow. Okay, now all the rest of them are warp. You go to effect and you go to warp, and there's several different warp things that I would like for you to kind of play with here. So, I'm not going to do all of them. So I'll just pick a shape here. You got to click a shape first, and let's do arc. So I go to effect, I go to warp, and I go to arc. And I'm not assigning you all of these. You'll notice if you'll look closely, the ones on the assignment it does not include all of these. Okay, so I'm going to go to arc, and let's move this over so we can see what we're doing. And it's taking this circle and making it kind of look like a bean or something like that. And I could do it. I could bend it either way. And I could play with what's called horizontal or vertical distortion down here, and I could turn it vertical if I wanted to. And you're seeing what's happening to that. If you're looking, you're seeing what's happening to that circle as I warp it. I'm warping it. So, when you're happy and you know it, click OK. And if you want to change color, change color. When you deselect it, it'll just look. You can kind of tell it used to be a circle, but it's not anymore. All right, so that was an arc. Just pull that out of the way. So yeah, and so this is going to be, they're all, if I go to effect and I go to warp, and they're all there. Yeah, I want you to do all those different ones. So like if I do bulge, and let me move this over so you can see what's going on. So you see what I got right now, but if I play with the bend thing, it's doing like that, and I could play with horizontal or vertical, and I could play with distortion on it. And so you see the shape that I'm getting there? It was a circle, and now it's, I don't know, it's kind of a teardrop thing that's turned sideways. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I can change color if I wish. And there we go. So, you would just continue on, pick a shape and do all of them, right? Like here's flag, effect, warp, flag. That looks like a mess, doesn't it? You can play with the bend, and I had some distortion on that, so I'll take the distortion off. And remember, you're going to kind of get different results depending on what shape you used in the first place. I used all circles here, but what if you used all boxes, or what if you used all stars? Well, or what if you mixed it up? Well, it would be different. I don't care what shapes you use. You just got to do all the effects. That's all the assignment is. All right, so fast forward time, right? You're getting the idea. You pick a shape. You do one of these things that's on the list over here. You got to do all of them. You're going to take 15 of them, and when you're all done, it's not going to look exactly like this, but you'll have something that sort of looks, I don't know, it'll look sort of like this. You'll have 15 shapes that have had effects applied to them in various ways. And when you're done with your work, you should go up to File, and you should go to Save As, and you should save on your computer. And you should give it, I always tell you guys to stick the word done or finished or something at the end of the file name right here. I think that's a good idea. I'm going to just cancel that. And then you turn it in. All right. That's the assignment. Off you go.